We don't talk about this enough, but living with your mother again after, I don't know, maybe 15 years of you living by yourself, plus coming back to a city, to a country where you haven't lived for 12 years, it's like, what the actual fuck? Like big clusterfuck of emotions, of resistance, of what the fuck's happening, you know. And now it's been 2 months that I'm officially sort of back to Paris, because I tried to go to Marseille. I was like, really, I'm just gonna end up the end of the year around the beach with the sun, calm, chill, tranquilo, because that's what I've manifested, you know. And I said that in one of my previous voice notes. I was like, I just want to end the year next to the beach. So I ended up next to the beach, view on the beach, view on the sunrise and on the sunset in both Marseille and in Ghana. And Ghana was for work, so there was still some work happening and stuff, but Marseille was just so fucking busy. Literally, it's a second Paris for me. And I don't care if there are people who are from Marseille on this channel. If you don't want to follow anymore because I said this, please be my guest. Mais vraiment, Marseille is like another Paris. Very agitated, and thanks God that my friend was living in next to the sea, next to the water. But I was like, I don't want to live at people's places anymore, or rather, if I have to live at someone's place, I might as well do it at my mom's, because this is also the house where I grew up. But then cohabiting with a parent who is also like, you know, Tunisian. Arabs are like, their kids are their lives, you know. And I think that for my mom, seeing me like this, crying and being sad and burnout happening and all these kinds of things, July already was hell, because she cares so much, right? And she also is going through her own process of dealing with a lot of different things. And seeing one of her children be in that position is like, putain, my life, my heart is breaking every fucking day. And at the same time, we don't cry in our family. Like, we learned that maybe last year because, well, my dad passed away. So it's like, all right, I cannot hide anymore. We cannot hide anymore. And I was really crying. I was hiding. I would take my dog and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for a walk. And I would cry in the fucking park of Les Buttes-Chaumont. And I swear to you, one time I met this girl. She was like, ça va? I was like, oui. Est-ce que vous avez, like, do you need anything? I'm like, do you maybe have a tissue? And that was it, you know. But I would always fucking hide, either in the, you know, cry in the shower, or go outside, or like, hey, I'm just gonna go for a coffee. And then I would just literally cry in front of my book, or cry when I was writing. But I would never really cry in front of her, apart from maybe the first couple of days. The rest of the time, and thanks God she was still working, I was like, I'm not going to show that to her, because I'm going to get stressed, because she cares so much and she doesn't want to see me cry, you know? Even when my dad passed away, like literally 3 days later, I was in Paris, and she was like, please don't cry. And I'm like, what are you doing? She was crying in front of me. So living like this is not ideal, because you want to protect the other person. She wanted to protect me. She wanted to reassure me, and I wanted to do the same thing. And so that, you know, no one is really sort of like letting go. No one is really just expressing themselves the way they want to. No one is really releasing, because for me, crying is just a release. It's not shame anymore. It's not weakness. It's not anything of the things that they sort of like taught us when we were kids, you know, especially for men. Like, my brother is like, men don't cry, you know. My dad would literally pull him by the ears and be like, hey, men don't fucking cry. So I'm actually happy that I didn't have that sort of quote unquote treatment. But yet, and still, it's still very conflictual, and obviously she's going through her own things, projections and whatever, so it was very chaotic. And at the same time, I am really super grateful that, you know, I got to go back home to stay with my mom So in total now it's like 2 months of staying with her, 2 months and a half between the hoeing everywhere and nowhere. And it's funny how in our culture, in our traditions, like we maybe see our parents as those indestructible people, like untouchable, like they can do everything. They're like so fucking brave and courageous, and they're it's not necessarily putting them on a pedestal, but it's like so grateful and at the same time so loyal and at the same time so fucking devoted because they gave us the gift of life. And I think both me and my brother are like, we can't wait to actually make shit ton of money, to have some fuck you money, I'm saying it loud and clear, to just buy her a house and just sort of like care for her the same way she always cared for us and the same way she still continues to care for us, you know. That's one of my biggest quote unquote goals in life, is to make enough money so I can just retire her and that she doesn't have to think of anything but herself, and where everything is paid for, right? And of course, knowing her is going to be like, no, I don't want this gift because I'm a strong and independent woman. Yeah, that's another topic. But still, I'm really grateful that I get to spend this time with her, even if it's like sometimes conflictual, like sometimes. December was like fucking war, man. And at the same time, I'm like, now I'm left with only one parent and I just really want to get to know her story. So I've been asking so many questions and she's been more and more inclined to open herself up, which I think I'm super grateful, because I know not a lot of my people, not a lot of my cousins really know their parents the way I'm getting to know my mom, for example. And I'm really, really blessed. And I'm really grateful that she is still here, that she's still around, that she's still healthy. And you just sort of learn to really just accept people for who they are. Because after almost 64 years of life, she's changed a lot. And I think that her life experiences really made her who she is. And at the same time, I'm just really learning to accept where she is at the moment and, be chill about it, and maybe be chill about people in general. And it makes me realize that maybe if we accept each other how we are, then maybe relationships become easier. There's less maybe expectations, there are less demands, there are less sort of conflicts. And I'm not saying that conflicts are not gonna happen, but I think that if we learn, and maybe before acceptance, and this is something big for her, my brother, and myself, it's like maybe if we learn to really love ourselves for who we are, with all of our quirks and with all of our I don't like this, then we're able to accept one another. And I think that maybe in our family and maybe in our culture and the way we're raised as Arabic children, and I'm not speaking for all of my cousins again, but I feel like we're all sort of like this, There's this, again, devotion, duty, loyalty to your parents. You really see them as like, I'm not going to say gods, but let's just say gods, but because for lack of better words, whereby it's like there can be a lot of guilt, as in like, you don't come and see your parents, you don't come and see your dad, you don't come and see your mom, don't forget that I'm the one who put you in this position and blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the parents do everything, so we owe them. This is what I wanted to say. It's like we owe them. It feels like we owe them, right? And for me, I have this, and I think my brother as well. And I think it used to be covered with a lot of guilt, as in like, putain, they gave us the gift of life. They sacrificed so much to be here, to give us the life that we have, to help us with the life that we have, to support us, like more than financially, right? And especially with my mom, like I know a lot of other moms that don't support their kids when they want to have a business of their own, or when they want to live abroad, or when they actually want to live a single life, sort of, you know, without a partner, especially me. Hello, I'm 34. I should be married with 3 kids already in an apartment and a mortgage. But I'm none of these things, you know. And I'm really super grateful again that I have a mother that is that flexible, that is so open, that is chill about it. And of course she wants to see me happy, you know, these kinds of things. But well, it's this sort of like owing them because they sacrifice so much. And one could argue that, yeah, well, they sacrificed so much because they wanted to have the kids. True, it was a choice. They wanted to have kids. Here we are. But they weren't forced to do all of this, you know. But again, I'm really, really grateful that even after this chaotic year last year, she still welcomed me and still took care of me. And I feel like even my relationship with her changed a bit. I was really having this, putain, I don't want to bother her, like she's already going through her own process with my dad and all the other personal stuff. I don't want to bother. And this is a thing I've always had. I don't want to bother. But talking more and more, opening myself more to her and her the same, I really realized that I have so much, I take so much from her. It's a blessing. I used to be like, putain, oh la la, I'm like her. And I'm like, mais putain, en fait, it's a fucking blessing. I have her courage, her authenticity, her vulnerability, her hypersensitivity, call it whatever, her bravery, her audacity, her generosity, her care. And I'm like, putain, I'm so happy. If I'm just half of what she is and of who she is, this is the best gift that I can get. And this is, I'm really just, well, I have all the tools and I have all the resources to actually live a really good life, you know. And with time, I'm really learning to just, well, accept her more and more and just be at peace also maybe with who I am, and be at peace with who she is, and be at peace with the fact that she's human. She's also experiencing life for the first time. So just like my dad, more compassion, more kindness, more acceptance, and less pia pia pia, you know.